Alright, what's up guys? Jaret Campisi back at the track for another video. So it's getting towards the end of the season. I've gone over how to run the 100, the 200, 300 hurdles, the 400 hurdles, the 100 hurdles, the short hurdles. And so now we're getting to the point where we're starting to get into our regional meets, our state meets, districts, basically all the big meets of the year. And so this is basically what all of your training has been boiling down to. It's these meets, okay? So your off-season training, your years of training and preparation, all that kind of stuff, it boils down to these meets. And I've been getting some questions and comments on my videos and through messages of people asking me if they should, change this or do that or pick up their workouts. And so I kind of just want to clarify what you should be doing to prepare for your biggest races and some do's and don'ts. So if you're looking to go in there and run your fastest times of the season, these are your most important races. They're races that can earn you scholarships to school, get you places on your top 10 lists and things like that. So you really want to be making sure you're doing the correct things. So if you want to learn how to do the correct stuff for those big races, stick around. Alright, so first off, let's talk about some of the things that you do not want to do, okay? So first thing that you don't want to do, this is not the time of the season to start changing stuff, okay? I had somebody ask me, he said he was a 110 hurdler, he normally runs 4 steps, he's headed to states, and he thinks he wants to maybe switch to 3 steps. One of the worst ideas I've ever heard. You really don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. This is not the time to be changing your step patterns, changing your block starts, changing your race pattern. Whatever you've been doing up until the season has worked. It's gotten you this far. So this is the time of the season that you make little tweaks to continue to get the rest out of your body and out of your races and things like that, okay? So be careful about changing stuff. That's something that you definitely really don't want to be doing a lot of, okay? The next thing is, people get to the end of the season and they think, okay, this is the time I have to start hammering my workouts, and I got to really start, hammering those 100s and those 200s and those 300s, and really start like upping the effort level, and you're all excited because the end of the season is here. That's the exact wrong approach. Everything that you've been doing up until this point is building you up to these races, okay? If anything, what you want to be doing is starting to back off in practice a little bit. So hopefully your coaches are giving you more speed training, more like striders. You want to start doing quality reps, okay? So, you're going to be doing race modeling, going out of blocks, but not for like short bursts of speed. You want to be, going over the first hurdle, hitting your steps perfectly and just feeling good, okay? The other thing is, if you are training correctly, and you're peaking and you have all this extra energy, and especially young kids and stuff, you don't want to be going outside and after practice or even at practice, I'm going to try out high jump because I feel great, and you go high jump and blow your knee out. Or you're like, I'm going to skateboard today and then go, fall in the middle of traffic and get run over. Seriously, I'm not joking though, because I've seen it happen. I'd say half of the injuries that happened on my college team were when people were doing things that weren't even their event. When they were just off, like screwing around after practice, like snowboarding or doing God knows what. So you're gonna have all this extra energy if you're training correctly and you're peaking correctly. So you have to be careful that you're not doing stupid stuff, okay? So that's an absolute don't do dumb stuff. For some of you people that are in high school, these races are the ones that can, if you do well and you're making a name for yourself, you can earn scholarships for track and field and stuff like that. So you don't want to blow all of the training and all of the hard work because you're just being an idiot, okay? So be very careful with that kind of stuff. So let's move on to some of the things that you absolutely do want to do. Start to focus on quality reps in practice, okay? If you're doing workouts, maybe back off a little bit on the intensity, That doesn't mean that you don't do your coach's workout, but me, myself, when I felt good, I would just back off a little bit on the effort. I'd still be running very similar times, but it felt a lot better. And feeling good makes you run good, okay? Also, you want to be starting to visualize things moving into your races, okay? So, when I was heading into Big Tens that whole week, I'm just thinking about my race, the 400 hurdles. What am I doing when I get out of the blocks? What am I hitting my first step? Then I'm going to alternate. Then I'm going to hit my good leg again. Where I want to be in the race. I visualize that whole race leading up to the season. Leading up to the race into the week. I'm thinking about stuff in practice when I'm doing my race modeling. I'm picturing myself in that race. I'm picturing myself winning that race, running perfect times, hitting perfect steps. Visualizing is huge, guys. the night before, I'm laying in bed, I'm thinking about the race, you know, driving to the meet, I'm thinking about what do I want to do, where do I want to be. These are the kind of stuff that makes you a champion, okay? This is the difference between just being some guy who's out here dicking off, running track and field, and being somebody who wants to be remembered, being somebody who wants to be their best, okay? So these are the kind of things that you want to be doing leading into these big races. So another thing that my buddy Rupp just reminded me, when it comes to warming up for your big races, you're gonna have all this nervous energy. You're gonna be already like high on, you know, the event and all that kind of things. So one thing you don't want to do is like hammer your warm-ups and just like beat yourself into the ground and make yourself tired. Don't be changing your warm-up or anything like that because you see other people who are ranked higher than you doing different things. Just keep doing what has worked because this is what has got you to that point, okay guys? And another thing is, the day before on your pre-meet races and stuff like that, like I said, you're gonna be nervous, and that's totally normal. I used to get super nervous before big races, but I would use that nervous energy to almost just like, I just like push it down inside of me and just like let this like calm wash over me. And I would just let myself, if you want to think about the race and be nervous, you know, let your body be nervous. Those nerves will allow you to run above and beyond your potential. And that's how I was able to run some of my fastest times at the biggest meets of my life, because I knew that moment mattered and I just conquered it, you know, like just be in that moment and just, it goes so fast and it'll be gone. So, you know, just be careful about your nervous energy and all that kind of stuff. Use it to your advantage, okay? And things like pre-meet day, don't be doing 75 different starts and running half the race and all that kind of stuff just because you're nervous. Trust yourself, trust your training. If you're a 100-meter runner, do a couple block starts, think about your race. You know, 400 hurdler, go over the first hurdle 1 or 2 times, make sure your steps are on. Same thing with the 110 hurdles. 200-meter runner, do a couple starts on the turn. Simple, okay? Quality reps. Get it in, get it done, visualize, and move on, okay? So that's all I have to say as far as preparing for big races. This is the best time of the year. I love watching big races. We got the Olympics coming up this year, and it's just awesome. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you have questions or comments, leave them down below. We'll take a look at them. If you want to see certain things, let us know. We'll make it happen. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching these videos, and we'll catch you in the next one.
It's crazy sometimes thinking you can own a piece of the world.
And one last thing that my buddy Rupp also reminded me of that I was kind of heading towards, but I didn't completely say. These moments when you're young and you're running track and all that kind of stuff, you know, like we're older now and we're not competing anymore. Those weeks and sometimes even months of like nervousness and like building up to those races, and enjoy it because it goes so fast, especially the race itself is over, it's just like done. Your career will end a lot quicker than you think. You'll be done with school, and after, you know, track and competing and like real life kind of stuff can get a little bit mundane and honestly boring in my opinion. And so like if you don't have something like this in your life and you don't enjoy it while you have it, you know, you'll miss it and it'll be gone. So I mean, that's one of the reasons I make these videos, because I love the sport so much and it did so much for me that I want to give back to you guys and just still be a part of the sport, you know. And so yeah, just cherish these moments. This is the kind of stuff that you know, this is how legends are born. You know, look Usain Bolt, man. You know, like people are gonna remember him forever, you know, and that's just special. So cherish that. And you know, on the same note, I noticed this weekend that I broke 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. I know it's just a number, but that's people who are coming to my channel and hitting that subscribe button because they want to see the stuff that I'm putting out. And so I just want to say thank you. I hope these videos are helpful for you. I love making them. I love being a part of this community, you know, from the track videos to the lifting stuff to the motorcycle riding, you know, like I'm gonna keep making these videos and I love it, and I can't say thank you enough. So thank you guys very much, and we'll catch you in the next one. I'm staring out the world, I'm staring now. I'm staring out the world, I'm staring now. I'm staring out the world, I'm staring now. And I feel so small.
just